Hello and welcome to She TV, the place women come to become powerfully feminine from the inside out. And today's topic is an answer to a question that comes again and again to me from my community. And our topic today is how to be vulnerable with men and not lose your power. And this is such an important question that we're going to be answering here today. And whilst I've got you here, if you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button over here and you'll get notified when I upload new videos. Now, I'm doing this video in response to a question that I keep getting asked in various forms from women in my community. And this is a very specific question from Cassandra Rainwater. Her question is, I'd love a video on being vulnerable. Maybe it's just me, but my perception of vulnerability as a female is that her power is lost. I've been hurt and my defense mechanism was to do it myself. So I honestly don't remember what true feminine vulnerability looks like instead of the victim or needy images portrayed in the media. Fantastic question. And anybody who relates to this, can you just comment in the comments box? Give us a thumbs up. Now, during the video today, I do encourage you to ask questions in the comments below, and I'll endeavor to answer them either on the video or afterwards. Okay, I do want to answer your questions. The world today has turned one of the most essential elements of our feminine power into something that it isn't. Weak. In fact, the word vulnerability has pretty much become synonymous with the word and the concept of weakness. And it's anything but that. And this is so wrong on so many levels, and I want to share 3 levels with you today. What this tells us is to basically stay closed, to keep not trusting things and people around us, and to not open again. Now look, we've all been hurt. Okay, we've all been hurt. We've been hurt really deeply. We've been hurt many, many times. But this doesn't justify not wanting to open again. This doesn't justify staying closed, losing faith in the world, losing faith in men and the masculine. What it also may suggest to us is vulnerability means being vulnerable all the time and to everyone. And if that's the case, it also then derives a conclusion to not be vulnerable with anyone. Now, I love Brené Brown's take on this, and she says, choose carefully who deserves to hear your story. Now, what does she mean by this? What she essentially means is you need to be discerning about who you share your story with, whether it's friends or lovers or family members even. Be discerning. And she also means that this person needs to have earned a level of your trust before they earn the right to hear your story. Now, it's okay to be wary. You don't go to a first date with someone and just let it all hang out. That's just oversharing, and that displays a lack of boundaries. Yeah? Now, the other end of the spectrum is staying totally clammed up and closed up, never revealing yourself, and never opening again. And neither of those ends of the spectrum are what I'm talking about here. And so what this means from Brené Brown's perspective is you do share your story with some people. Those who have earned that level of your life, of your vulnerability and your heart, right? And the third one I want to share with you here about why it's so wrong that vulnerability has become synonymous with weakness. And this is a really big one, so I want you to really take this in. If vulnerability is a core essence of your feminine energy and power, and it's become synonymous with weakness, then what happens? We conclude that the feminine is weak. You hear me? And this is exactly where we find ourselves in the world today, deeming feminine energy weak, lesser than, underneath, and something to bury inside of ourselves at all cost. Now, I want to share with you what happens and what will happen as soon as you start to love and bring forth your vulnerability in yourself, in your life, to those who have earned the right to that in you. Firstly, you'll discover that high-quality masculine men adore our vulnerability and will do anything to protect it, to hold that, to create safety for your vulnerability, for you, ultimately. And secondly, you'll start to open your heart again to the possibility that there are great men out there just aching to feel the real you, the authentic you, to want to dive into your heart, to hold it, to love it, and to protect it with you and for you. And thirdly, when you realize that when you're vulnerable with the right person, and this is not just men, this is people in general, it is in fact a power. Not a power over somebody, but a powerful experience in and for yourself. And that also when we're vulnerable, it's a huge gift to the other person. It's a giving to somebody when you are courageous enough to be powerful. And I say courageous because everything else in the world tells us to be not courageous, to be fearsome of trust, of vulnerability, of opening. So it is an act of courage, but it is a choice that you can make. Now, are you going to need some mentoring and coaching on how to become vulnerable and what this means and what it feels like and looks like in you? Yes, probably. And I do go into this in great depth and detail in my relationship program, Arise in Your Queen, Attract Your King. Now, I want to paint you a little bit of a picture of yourself a year from now. A year from now, you've realized that your vulnerability is a power and a strength. You've decided that you want to open, that you want to trust, that you want to feel this vulnerability, this essential aspect of your feminine. And in a year from now, as you've gone through a pathway of being supported and mentored and coached on how to do that, here are a few things that you're going to feel. You're going to feel so much better in yourself, in your body and in your energy. You'll love yourself more. You'll be able to open as an act of will. You'll be able to choose who and when to open. And you're going to feel a lot more confident. Confident in yourself, in who you are. You're going to feel confident because you're going to understand your boundaries and you're going to know exactly when and who to open and to be vulnerable to. Another thing you'll feel a year from now, having engaged a courageous path of vulnerability, is you're actually going to find yourself more and more available to high quality masculine men. You see, because vulnerability is an essential embodied know-how of a queen. Now, these high quality masculine men will then be able to see you, see your authentic self, see your vulnerability, and they'll be able to hold you and they'll be able to fall in love with you because you're going to let them in. See, vulnerability and opening go hand in hand. And if we aren't willing to be vulnerable and we're not opening, then how is he going to be able to move toward you, to get inside you, to hold you and protect you? And thirdly, and most importantly, a year from now, you're going to realize that vulnerability is not a weakness, but in fact is a great strength, a deep strength. And it's going to be something in your feminine toolbox that you know is there to bring out at the right time, with the right person, in the right situation. If you haven't already jumped on, it's a 90-minute masterclass. I reveal the 3 mistakes that smart, attractive women make again and again that keep them attracting the wrong men. It's titled How to Become a High-Value Woman Who Attracts High-Quality Masculine Men. Thank you so much for your attention today, and remember, when you have the courage to go out there and shine and be vulnerable, you encourage others to do the same. So let's all go out there and shine this week. Much love to you, and bye-bye for now.